In this video, we're going to take a look at modeling the Arbor Press punch holder. And so here's a picture of the punch holder that we're going to go from. So this is what you'll see on your activity and in the curriculum. And we're going to go through and model this part. So I'm going to go ahead and suppress this picture there. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to create a new component. We'll call this the Arbor Press punch holder. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new sketch here, and we're going to create that on the front plane. To start off, we're going to go ahead and draw the profile. When I get to this point, I'm going to show you there's a little trick here. So I can actually go through and draw utilizing the line tool. And the way I do that is I kind of move my mouse out. I come back to this point, I hold down my left mouse button, and I can actually draw an arc in, and then go ahead and come down and connect. The other thing you can do is you can also draw a 3-point arc in there to connect those points. A few things before we start getting going on the dimensions is let's go ahead and do some geometric constraints. Let's make sure that we'll use the tangent geometric constraint. This line is tangent with the arc. The arc is tangent with this line, and then that way that's all taken care of there. So the other thing we need to do is take a look at the parallel constraint. So parallel, I need to parallel this line, this angled line with this angled line. And then I can go ahead and I can start looking at some of the dimensions from here. So I'm going to go ahead and run my dimension tool. Looks like the overall width from this line to this line will be 1.5. The overall height is 2 inches. And you're going to notice they don't really give you like the height of this portion right here, but they do give you a few little pieces like this height. It's 0.25. Now the other geometric constraint we forgot to add was the collinear. So I'm going to go to collinear, choose the bottom line on this side, choose this bottom line. That way they'll stay in position together. And then I just continue to add some more of the dimensions. 0.2 for this section. And right now we've exhausted all those. The one that you will see is going to be an angular dimension. So between this line and between this angled line, and this one here is going to be set at 35 degrees. So when you do that, you should see you get a fully constrained sketch. After you have all these, let me pull this angular dimension up there. You'll have this exact sketch and ready to go to finish. Finish the sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and extrude a thickness of 0.5, and I'm going to say OK. The last part here is going to be to put in the holes. So I'm going to click on Create Sketch. I'm going to click the angled surface of the Arbor Press punch holder. And I'm going to create utilizing points. So I'm going to set 4 points in there. There are 4 holes that run along. Now you're going to see I clicked on this purple line. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and say delete. It's on that purple line. And actually you're going to notice that this point may not move. I may have to delete this point because it will probably get constrained to something else. So if you see the little highlights like right there, don't click on that. So I'm going to kind of come above, maybe right about there. Even if you set 4 points really close together, we can go ahead and we can dimension them. I'm going to do the horizontal vertical constraint. Along this top line, I'm going to hold the shift key until I find the midpoint, which has the X with the triangle, and then I'm going to click on this first point, and then I'm just going to click on the first point to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth. That'll make sure that they're all vertically constrained right in the center of our part. From here, just following dimensions from this top line to this point, I end up having 0.336, and all of these dimensions go from this top line. So that's the one thing you'll want to look out for as you go along. Let me hit cancel here. There's a couple points. Let me deselect. If you need to, you can always grab the corner as well. That seems to be working out better for me. So sometimes it's trying to select a previous dimension when you're doing that. Okay, I'm going to finish the sketch, and then I'm going to go ahead and ignore this top point there. That's just the midpoint being identified, but I'm going to click on the whole command. This time I'm going to click on all 4 of these points at one time. So you're going to see it's going to do this, and then we're going to check the hole note. It's a simple hole as far as distance. The distance that's drilled down is 0.40, and then these actually have a flat bottom drill point. So actually I need to choose the flat bottom drill point, because if you look, the top one and even these bottom ones kind of go through. We don't want these holes to show through. They're going to be flat. And then the diameter on these is going to be 0.226. Then I'm going to say OK. So that's going to give us our holes there on that side. The only thing we got left is on the back face. I'm going to do a very similar process, create a sketch. Go ahead and create 2 points. One up towards the top, one up towards the bottom. I'm going to follow a very similar procedure. I'm going to click on the horizontal vertical, hold my shift key, find my midpoint at the top line, choose the first point, and then vertically constrain the first and second point together. Now, when I go through and I go to dimension, these are going to be, the dimension has the bottom one being located 0.150, and then they are located 1.85 apart. Or actually, excuse me, let me go back here. Control Z. Actually, that 1.85 is going from the bottom. So let me delete that dimension, try that again. That looks better. And they're already turned black. Means they're fully constrained because they're in the middle. I'm going to use the whole command again. I'm going to choose both points. They both have the same hole size. They're both drilled through at, so this one here is a threaded hole. So I'm going to have to choose the hole type. The third one here, which is called a tapped hole. And in the tapped hole, so you're going to see the depth is set in there for us. So we need to set the depth to be 0.30. And same kind of scenario as we go along. So you'll see we want flat drill points as we go along. And to set the screw threads, we need to go down to the size, hit the drop down. They want an 832 UNC. So if you look, the 832 is a 0.164 number 8. So when you choose that, there's the 832 UNC designation that we want, and everything is good. So I'm going to say OK. There we have our holes with threads in them. All right, this completes the Arbor Press punch holder. We're going to, in the next video, set this up to create an auxiliary view and go ahead and do the drawing for this.